Welcome to Mental, Menopausal, Magnificent Me. And I'm not with my magnificent mate today. I'm with my magnificent eldest nephew, Ethan, and my magnificent eldest niece, Maya. And
Hello.
we are here today because I wanted to talk to the next generation about neurodiversity. Now, we haven't had a conversation about this before as a family or as an auntie and niece and nephew. So this is the first time. So hopefully it will come across as the first time that I don't know what they know. So we're going to find out. But I know enough about my family to know that this generation know a lot more than my generation and are far more generally accepting and tolerant of differences within people and friends and peers and adults. So I'm really interested to hear. I'm hoping it's going to be a real refreshing chat about neurodiversity and what it looks like for, what are you? You're not Generation Z. What are you? What do you call yourself?
Generation X? No.
What are you? You're not X or Z or Y, or do you have a generation yet?
I don't
Well, there we
know.
go. We can't answer the first question. We're not doing very well, are we? Right. Okay. So if I said to you, I'm neurodiverse, what does that mean, or what's your understanding of that, Ethan? What's your understanding of that? How would you know that I was different to someone who wasn't neurodiverse, or what would that mean or look like?
You might need maybe a bit more help with some things.
Yeah,
or
that's true.
Might see things in different ways to different people.
Totally do that.
Yeah, just.
Do you know any? What about you, Maya? Sorry.
Well, you might like read things wrong, or maybe have different opinions to other people who aren't quite similar.
Okay. Do you know any names for neurodiversity? So do you know any, I don't want to call them conditions, but for people who are neurodiverse, do you know what any of those terms are? How do you know if someone's neurodiverse? What have they got, or what is there?
Like ADHD or
that's one.
dyslexia.
Yeah.
Or maybe autism.
Yeah, that's another one.
I don't think I know anything else.
Do you know what dyspraxia is?
No.
We sometimes call that like clumsiness.
Oh yeah.
So you can have dyspraxia.
Yeah.
And if you're neurodiverse, then you often have one or more of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, I've got autism, so ASD. So I see things slightly differently. So do you know if any of your friends are neurodiverse? Would they say to you, because my generation are really struggling to say, my name's Claire and I'm autistic.
Yeah.
What about your generation?
I've got a friend who's got ADHD, and at school he has sometimes he gets fidgets in class and things, just so he can focus on that. And I know some people at school that get extra time on tests and things, and they need it.
But everyone knows he's got ADHD. Yeah. It's out there.
Yeah. Yeah. He's happy for it to be as well.
Good. So he doesn't see it as a deficit.
No, not at all.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I've got a friend who's got dyslexia and ADHD, and she's going to have an autism test. So she's she can't spell very well, and she tells people she's got ADHD and stuff. So she's confident about it as well. She doesn't mind as well, and she'll have to have fidgets as well as Ethan.
So if somebody tells you that they've got ADHD, what does that mean to you? What does that mean?
Isn't it that it's harder to sit still for a long amount of time?
It can be like hyperactivity, can't it?
And you can't really focus as well.
That's right. So you can't read things in as quick a time or that type of thing. You often have a lot of energy that you need to burn off. You can't sit.
Yeah.
You often need to move around and do things in different places or positions and that type of thing. But it doesn't mean that you can have ADHD and not be busy all the time. But for most people who have ADHD, their brains are busy all the time. So when they are busy, they then need extra time out almost to recover from that, because their brain is working much harder than a neurotypical brain all the time.
Yeah, we have timeout cards at school, which some people have, which they can give to a teacher and get 5-10 minutes out of the lesson.
You can just hand it, and they can do a tick on their thing and then say they've had some time on their own today.
Do you know what? Sorry, I should say these two are not at the same school. So what school are you at, Ava?
Maya. Well, I go to a girls' school at Hayesfield in Bath.
Okay.
I go to Ralph Allen, which is also in Bath, but it's a mixed school.
Okay, so different schools. So it's good to hear that even though they're having different educational experiences, that's the same, that neurodiverse people are treated that way. Do you know anyone with autism?
I don't think so, actually. No.
Yeah.
I know there are people in my year, but I haven't ever really spoken to them.
Yeah, same.
But would you know who they were?
Yeah.
Okay, and how would you know who they were? How do they present in school?
They just sometimes mention it in class and things.
Okay, so they say, so they're happy to say that they are.
Yeah, and sometimes you can maybe because some of our teachers have autism, they have like a lanyard that they put around their neck to say like I am autistic.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, which is
so
quite
if
brave.
You've got a teacher who's got, it is very brave. If you've got a teacher who's got a lanyard that says I'm autistic, do you behave differently for that teacher?
No.
Maybe make it a bit clearer for them. Like if they make like a mistake or something, you don't put pressure on them. Something like give them their time.
There is some allowance made, or some slightly different treatment in a way. Some understanding of that. They might work in a different way to you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you know any, apart from me, and you didn't know that, a few months ago, do you know any adults with autism?
Yeah, I've got a couple of teachers, but not anybody that I'm friends with or have a proper conversation with.
No, okay. So, do you know any girls with autism?
Yeah, in my year, but still haven't really spoken to them.
No, but you're aware that girls can have autism. What about you at girls' school? I would have thought there would be a lot of autistic girls.
There are quite a few autistic people, but I haven't really spoken to them about it really.
No,
just
but you're aware,
I'm aware
that
they have it, and they know too, and there's different kinds of it.
So I just realised as we've been talking then that we've talked like the majority of my generation were told that it's a disorder or there's something the matter with you, something wrong with you. And we're talking about it as in things that we can't do, whereas there are so many things that neurodiverse people can do that neurotypical people would find harder or would take longer. So what do you notice in your friends that are neurodiverse that they could potentially do quicker or easier, or even very different to something that you wouldn't be able to do? Like May, I know you've got a friend who is really creative.
Yeah, she could think up stories on the spot and go, this happened and this, and it's really imaginative, but she won't be able to write it down, but she can still say it out loud with confidence and stuff.
So she worked with a neurotypical person who could write it all down for her, and she wouldn't struggle with her dyslexia then or be worried about her spelling or her organisation. Then that's a really powerful duo, isn't it? Because and that's funny because I've got ASD but I haven't got the imagination, so I really struggle with any sort of fantasy or Game of Thrones or Hobbits or Tolkien or Harry Potter or any of that. And you'll notice when I'm playing with the younger niece and nephews, I can't make up a princess game or make up a cat game. We always do the same game again and again. I can't just think of things like you can. So it's funny that even with two people who are neurodiverse, that's why it's a spectrum, because it can be very different even within that. What about you, Ethan? Do you notice anything in yours?
I know a few people that are just very, very confident, in situations where, for example, I would be not so confident. They can just be really confident and just say what they want to say instead of, like me, I'd sometimes just almost go a bit awkward or something, and they just can carry on even though it might not be a situation where other people would be very confident in.
And I think maybe that comes from knowing who you are and being confident in your own skin, and always not worrying what other people think. But that's really hard as you're a teenager. It's really hard in life anyway, but it's really hard as a teenager. And if you're very sure who you are and you don't care and you need to make your demands clear to survive in a neurotypical world, that's what my advice to a neurodiverse person would be. You have to be clear in what you can and can't do, but comfortable with it and not really care what everyone else thinks. Otherwise, life is too stressful for you and you have more meltdowns. So cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Right, thanks guys. Hope that's opened your eyes and made you think as well about the different generations, Generation Alpha, Generation X, and and the Y and Z in between, and where we are with neurodiversity. So thanks ever so much for watching. We'll do another one, probably going to be summer next time we catch up. So we'll do another one soon. Thank you. Bye.